Alright, so the wind picked up. It's about 11:30 at night. As you can see, there's sideways wind coming in. So we're packing up, and we're not too sure what we're going to do.
Well, there's no way around it today. Today's gonna suck. Day 49, and it is miserable out. Gonna be pouring rain all day. Thankfully no thunder, so we can't get some miles done today. James is still not feeling super awesome. I think he slept for like 16 or 17 hours yesterday. So realistic goal is to get to 36 miles. So it should take us like 7 hours to a campsite where hopefully there's a gazebo, dry some of our stuff. Yeah, just a day like today makes you think about the fact that we didn't come out here for easy days. So, you know, we'll be stronger for it after, but oh, looking forward to that warm, dry sleeping bag tonight. James here is a trooper. He's probably eaten about 300 calories in the last 48 hours. He's pushing through today, but oh my goodness. I don't know how he's moving. So it stopped pouring on us, which is nice. We're probably about an hour 15 away from a campsite which has a gazebo, so excited for that. So here's what we're dealing with. Pulled in here, bunch of steps, long portage, but there is a little gazebo there with some porta potties, so not horrible. We are saying goodbye to what we think is the best campsite we've had yet. It's a gazebo with power. It's got a light and it's porta potty, so it's a pretty awesome setup. It is a bit of a lengthy portage to get back on the Mississippi, and Woods is feeling back to himself today, so hopefully we'll be able to push some pretty good miles. We'll see how far we get and probably end up at a wing dam or something. Got a tailwind today too, so that always means for a little more miles, we hope at least.
All right, we just came across something pretty cool. Over here is Grand Tower Rock, and we were just reading about it, and apparently Lewis and Clark stopped here on their big adventure, and we looked at the date and it was November 25th, and today is November 25th too, so pretty weird coincidence, but pretty neat.
So we believe that this is the Dredge Potter. So it's one of the oldest Army Corps ships that's still in use, and we think it was built in the 30s. We're gonna look it up after, but definitely an interesting vessel. So we're in a bit of a weird camp today. This is very clearly the riverbed, but because the water levels are so low, we're able to camp here. It's really flat, but there's no driftwood anywhere. There's just a little bit of vegetation. Pretty close to the water, but it was getting late, so we figured we'd go for it. We're not supposed to expect any rain, but you'd have to get like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 feet of rain for this to flood over again, but pretty crazy. In the distance there, you can see an old river marker that has floated in. We are day 51. It's a little shorter day on our hands today. We're gonna get some pretty nasty weather coming in today, so we just got to make it about 35 miles to a city called Cairo. It's spelled Cairo. Why do they call it Cairo? Anyway, there's a gazebo, we think, there that's going to be able to be good shelter for us. So just a half day, really. We're going to be able to kind of get there by maybe 2 or 3 at the latest. So we're excited for that. So here are the current conditions. We haven't really canoed in heavy fog yet, so I'll kind of explain our strategy here. So we've got our red markers, which indicate the left side of the channel. There's one ahead here, which you probably won't be able to see. And then there's gonna be green markers, and those will be on the right side of the channel. There's not one right now, as they just have the one set of buoys. So we'll radio ahead with our location. For example, we're at Price Landing right now. So we'll radio ahead and say, approaching Price Landing, river left descending. That lets anybody barge know in the 5 mile area that we're where we are and the direction we're headed and the orientation of our canoe. Kind of a good strategy that we were coached through in St. Louis, and it's worked so far. Look at this little fleet that just passed us. This is the only like pleasure craft we've seen south of St. Louis. They're headed to Alabama. This is the Mississippi River. This is about the width that we've been used to. You can kind of see it compared to our canoe that James is paddling in right now. This is about to converge with the Ohio. It's hard to tell, but the Ohio is actually wider than the Mississippi right here. So at this conversion point, confluence, some might say, it gets absolutely massive. So we're hoping that means fast water. We'll see. So this is Jordan's kayak, and he absolutely refuses to drag it up the beach to store it for the night. This is as close as he generally stores his kayak. Good enough. For comparison, that's our canoe. Guy's wild. We're expecting a lot of rain tonight. A bunch of barges and... So as fate would have it, chaos has struck us again. We have a massive headwind. So we used to have our tent set up here. And this is facing south. Huge south wind. So we put up a giant tarp, which is no chance gonna hold. And we put our tents behind it. Rain is coming in pretty hard though. So, not an ideal situation. It's not bad, man. It's probably like the wood is probably softer than the concrete anyway. So, we're confident in our wind wall. It's protecting us pretty well. We've already committed to sleeping on picnic tables. We think that's the move. As you can see, puddles have amassed. The issue we're running with is we got about 10 to 15 kilometer-an-hour winds headed directly towards us now, which is ideal because we're protected. But in the middle of the night, the wind doubles and comes from this direction. So we are gonna get all this rain into us right there in our very vulnerable sleeping bags. This is all of the rope and almost all of the tarp we have. So we're just trying to think what the best game plan is for that.
All right, so the wind picked up. It's about 11:30 at night. As you can see, there's sideways wind coming in. So we're packing up, and we're not too sure what we're gonna do. We might set up a tent somewhere. I'm gonna go for a little walk right now, see what I can find.
All right, James, what did we just do?
So we woke up in the middle of the night, and our really crappy makeshift fort over there was failing big time. Rain was coming in on all sides, and also the ceiling was just dripping water on top of us. And so and the wind picked up like crazy, and so we decided to make a game time decision. One plan we were almost gonna do was we were just gonna lay in our rain gear and just sleep in our rain gear on top of a park bench, but that would have really sucked. So then we decided to walk across the field, set up our tent. There just was a break in the weather, so we managed to get our tent set up, and then as we were walking back, the friggin' tarp got torn down. So I mean, it was kind of a blessing really, because it would have been, I don't know, it would have been midnight, and then that tarp would have just get torn down on top of us. So now it's about almost 1 a.m. And we're finally getting to bed, so it's been a pretty long night.
So it's like probably like 1:30 now,
We were just getting nestled in, and then we see like huge spotlight on the tent, just whoop whoop. It was cops. This is the first time we've had an interaction with them, and they so we assumed that we were going to be kicked out immediately. Like, show me your hands. We're like, oh goodness, what's this going to be? And then we go out and talk to the guy. Just a beauty of a guy. Name was Don. We told him what we were doing, and he was just letting us know this was a real dangerous neighborhood. And we don't intend to do anything about it because we're just posted up. It's starting pouring rain. So he recommended moving all of our stuff from the gazebo, which was supposed to be our home tonight. And we just got it outside of our vestibules now. And he said around like 2:30 it gets really sketchy in the parking lot across the way, but we should be good here, but just to keep an eye out. So it's another thing to think about. It's rain, wind, and now heroin addicts.
Day 53. We have an awesome paddling day. It's gonna be no wind whatsoever, just kind of overcast. It's supposed to be like 15 degrees all day, so we're gonna be cruising, which is awesome. Current kind of goes up and down because the river snakes quite a bit, which is disappointing because we could get some serious miles done. But we are still gonna shoot for our biggest day. We're going for a city called New Madrid, spelt New Madrid, but not pronounced that way. Don't understand these American cities, but we're rolling with it. We should be paddling in there right until about 5 o'clock, so we'll roll in right at dark, but it's boat ramp, so we should be okay.
And the kid is back.
Kid's back 100%.
I'm healthy.
My shoulders hurt from carrying all this weight. Oh, that should be a good day.
At 10 o'clock, so it's a bit weird not to be paddling in the morning, but we're kind of excited just to have a 0 day and chill out, restock some stuff we need to do. We're hanging out in a town called New Madrid, so we'll probably be just hanging out in a library mostly today. So here we go.
An 8-foot tree or 8.5-foot tree?
Here's our tent. Here's a boardwalk that we slept under. Kind of cool, right? Not really, because we got bird poop all over our stuff because there's pigeons that live here. So note to self, don't sleep under boardwalks. We're slowly learning. Day 53 or something. 54. We're just leaving New Madrid. We got stormed in yesterday. It is a lovely town. If ever you're in New Madrid, definitely go to the museum.
Coming to New Madrid.
And go and check out the M&M Deli for sure. Probably the best, one of the best spots we've been to yet on the trip. Just a couple of women in there, really nice. They'll fix you up something good. I'm starting to talk like a southerner now, picking up the lingo.
All right now, boy.
Now we're gonna try and do over 50 miles today, try and get just past Caruthersville. That's the plan. We woke up this morning on day 56 with a phone call from Jordan, the guy that's been following us in the kayak. Called us at 6 a.m. this morning and said, "Hey guys, I got crazy news. I woke up last night and there was water coming on my tent. I was wondering why my sleeping bag was all wet. Anyway, so he finally got out of his tent and realized his kayak was gone. So the water had risen last night and took away his kayak. So he moved his camp up and then spent the rest of the night on the island. And then obviously he woke up, he had no kayak. His stuff was all wet, so he wasn't sure what to do. He actually waded in waist deep water off of his little island that had formed around him. Hitchhiked a bunch of times into town. Like, I think a hunter picked him up, brought him to town, and then a cop got him and brought him into like the next town over. Anyways, he filed a report, and then he was hanging around town trying to decide what he was going to do. This guy was like, I'll give you a kayak. This guy at a hardware store or something was going to lend him a kayak. Then the Coast Guard calls him. They find his kayak. The police drive him to his kayak. So then he gets it, comes back into town. They drop him off at a hotel for the night. I guess this is a brand new hotel. And it's not even open to the public yet. So he's actually the first guest of the hotel, and they're putting him up for free. So the guy loses his kayak, finds his kayak, and gets a free night in a hotel room. I bet he's getting a shower right now too. Oh my God, what a roller coaster of emotions, this guy. But he won't quit. The guy had his canoe stolen earlier. He's lost 2 different paddling partners. Now this, and the guy's still kicking. So he's tenacious for sure. Good on him. And good luck to you too, Jordan. Hopefully, hope you can catch up to us. Maybe we'll see you in a bit.
On the next episode, a week of fog and rain begins.
We get a rainy, foggy day. Don't have very much visibility today. So the barges won't be able to see us. So we're gonna be just hugging ashore all day, which probably will slow us down.